Have you ever stopped to wonder and think why the MMO genre has stayed stagnant for so long? The genre has seen very little change from when it first became popular. But why is that? Well, if you think about it, as a whole, MMOs haven't really changed too much over the years. Look at the trend for MMOs. It has seen a steady decline since 2009. That isn't typically what you want to see. Let's take a look at some other genres. MOBAs, trending up. Battle Royales, trending up. If you search for almost any genre, it's trending up while MMOs are trending down. So what happened to MMOs? To answer this question, let's take a stroll down memory lane to 2004. WoW was released alongside the likes of Half-Life 2, Metal Gear Solid 3, Halo 2, and GTA San Andreas. Do you notice a trend? Most of these are purely single-player games. Now, these were great games at the time, and still iconic to this day, but were any of these games as vast and expansive as World of Warcraft? Of course not. That was the draw, a huge world, endless opportunities, and of course multiplayer. These days, there's also a lot more competition, and MMOs make their money from recurring subscriptions, not just selling their game on day one. So essentially, they have to keep their player base interested with constantly releasing new content. Do you remember loading up World of Warcraft for the first time and just exploring? I sure do. My first time traveling to Stormwind City, I didn't have any rhyme or reason to be there. It was a city that I randomly stumbled upon while going through my quest adventures. There was no wowhead, quest helper, or add-ons to tell you where to go, what to do. You were just able to explore. Isn't that crazy? These days, games have thousands of guides before they even leave beta. The current meta for an MMO involves players rushing through quests on launch week to get to max level as fast as they can, burning through a majority of the game's content. There's no more exploring or figuring it out as people go. Everything is known as soon as an MMO launches. There's no surprises. Now, what's the worst part about an MMORPG? Well, it's the leveling, of course. That's why people speedrun through their leveling experience. Sure, some people enjoy that, especially playing their first or second MMO. But after so many MMOs, it's the same old thing time and time again, just with a different face. So you might be asking yourself, how come these studios don't just eliminate that part of the game? Well, that's my question too. The leveling experience hasn't changed much since the MMO genre became popular, and as a result, that makes it the most dreaded part of the game by most experienced MMO players. Everyone wants to get to the endgame to start grinding their gear from dungeons, raids, arenas, battlegrounds, and world PvP. So why don't games just start you from there? Developers would save so much time, energy, and resources from developing leveling zones, and instead they could work on making content that people actually enjoy. Now, aside from leveling, I think it's also the state of the current player base. Most would-be MMO players are older now, and have less time to put towards gaming, and the younger generation doesn't seem to find MMOs that enjoyable. Ask yourself, would you rather put 3 to 4 hours a day leveling, or would you rather jump straight into a League of Legends, Counter-Strike, or Fortnite game? There are so many more options now, options that require less time grinding and more time jumping straight into the action. Now, I'd be lying if I said the whole MMO genre was dying. It's still around and kicking, but is nowhere near where it used to be. Some MMOs that go against the grain and don't rely on pay-to-win elements are still flourishing. Final Fantasy XVI is still regarded as one of the current best MMOs and has a healthy player base. Old school RuneScape is still super unique with both its leveling system as well as its quest system. There is truly nothing like it. And the new guy on the block, Hardcore Classic WoW. You might be asking yourself, well, Classic WoW is nothing new, and you're right, but Hardcore is. There hasn't been a mainstream MMO that has a one life mechanic, which could really help turn the industry on its head and breathe new life into the genre. Like most good things in gaming, they start out as mods and then become widely adopted after the player base shows the developers that they like it. Let's take Battle Royales for example. That was created as a mod for a military sim called Arma 2. And with that, we now have the likes of PUBG, Fortnite, Apex, and Warzone. Developers really need to go back to the drawing board for their new MMOs releasing and really think hard about what makes MMORPGs great, because things are really stale right now. Perhaps they eliminate leveling, or they eliminate questing, or maybe they implement a one life mechanic. The choice may be theirs, but we, the players, have the voice. What changes would you like to see happen to the MMORPG genre? Leave a comment down below.